Try to lift it. What you will need to make Thor's electromagnetic hammer. You will need a battery, some wire, the electromagnet, a reversed switch, and a switch to turn things on and off. Aside from all the electronics, you will also need a Thor's hammer. This is one I 3D printed. I will link the Thingiverse down below. But you could also go to Toys R Us and buy like a Thor's hammer for around $10. And also a specialty item that you might need is you're going to need a metal rod with the bolt that came with the electromagnet welded onto it, so that this actually pulls all the force and none of the force is going through the plastic frame. And what you're going to want to do in your Thor's hammer is cut a hole out in the bottom for the electromagnet to slot into. So for the wiring, it's the switch. It's going to go into the battery. And then the electromagnet is going to attach to the positive side of the battery. Doesn't really matter. And then you're going to have to get the reverse switch with a really long wire on it. Attach it to the other side of the electromagnet. And then back to the main switch to control the system. It looks complicated, but it's really simple. I was actually originally planning to use a MOSFET for it, but I couldn't get the MOSFET to work, so we're just going to go with this simpler design. So I went back and insulated all the connections. I put electrical tape on the reverse switch, and I put heat shrink on the soldered wires together. And this is an XT60 connector that connects to the 2200 milliamp hour Zippy battery. This is a 25C drain. I might have to put 2 of these batteries on it to make the electromagnet have more power, but that's no problem. We can just wire them in series or parallel, depending on what we need. So next part is putting the electromagnet into the frame. Put the handle on, and then with the steel inside of it, you're going to want to fill this entire handle with hot glue and epoxy glue to make sure that the metal rod is stationary with the plastic handle, which will give the plastic handle strength, and you'll be pulling up on the metal rather than the plastic. Alright, change in plans. The switch up here is not going to work due to when I was trying to fill this thing with glue, I kind of used a drill bit to try to get more glue in, and I cut one of the wires, but that's not a problem. We're just going to move the switch down over here inside this little groove, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a little piece of like silver like paper or something, or like a little thin strip of like probably aluminum foil or metal. You just cover this up, and then you have your thumb on it like this. And then when you want to lift it, you just press down and then lift. So the top switch isn't working anymore. We're moving to this, but all the wiring is still the same for the switches. We're just moving it from here to here. So I put all the electronics inside of it. The connectors over here, the box is already there, and the switches over here. So it's all in there, all glued down to the magnet, and I glued the handle down to this side of the hammer. And then inside this side, there's the battery taped in here with a low battery alarm. So I can see what, so it could tell me when the battery's almost dead. And then to make it work, you just plug it in, and then put the two halves together. Alright, so that's all the construction of the hammer finished. Now I put a coat of epoxy around the handle just so that when you lift it up, it gives the handle a little bit more strength. And now let's just turn it on and demonstrate it. So turn the switch on. And put this back in here. Hold on. Put it back in there. I'm just holding it together with duct tape for now. Just temporary. And there's also these detail bits that I didn't put in yet, but they'll be in later. Now, as you can see, this thing is fully solid down. When you have to lift it, you lift the entire metal plate up unless you're standing on the plate. And then to let it go, the switch is right under this duct tape. I'm going to do a bit better job of hiding it, but just proof of concept. Press the switch down, lift the hammer, put it down. It's 200 pounds if you're on the metal. Just lift it up. So can't take it off, and just try to lift it. Here, look. You wield the power of Thor. You just need to pick it up, you know? Like that.
What?
That's what I thought.